Here we are with the lovely butterfly that we made in our butterfly workshop. And so that you know I don't waste anything, I'm going to, or I want to use this on my next mannequin, but I really want her to have this butterfly between her shoulder blades on the top. The other thing I've done with this one is pop on or swap and flip these two top bits so that the top of the wing is a lovely deep blue, just to add a little bit of contrast. Now the trick is going to be, how do we fit this to her shoulder blades, because she's very curvaceous. So I've laid it out and I've made the grout lines a little bit, maybe a tiny bit wider than you would normally use, because it is on a curved surface, so it's going to have an impact on your grout lines. So the first thing I'm going to do is, oops, very noisy, is to tape all of these pieces together so I can mould it around her body. So here I'm using 2-inch, or what is that, 5 centimetres, maybe 4 centimetre packing tape, or sticky tape or facing tape, depending on what you call it. The other thing you can use is, of course, is contact. I'm deadly with contact, so I won't be using that. But if you can manage to use it without getting yourself all stuck up, then you can just do that in one easy sweep. So I'm going to tape through the middle to hold all those pieces together first. And then I'm going to continue to stick those pieces together. And of course I bumped this piece, but that's okay. I'll pull it off and realign it, which is really handy. I do this with a lot of my mosaics, is to line things up first before I glue them, particularly if my hands are playing up. I tried to glue a straight line of things this morning. What a disaster. So just keep going like that, and then cut off the excess so that you've got a nice flexible one. Okay, here's the amazing butterfly, all taped up with the excess off, and really quite flexible for what we want to start with. So this will be a fiddly process, but it's so going to be worthwhile in the end. So if I pop this on the back of Gypsy Rose where I want this to be, I can see that these two wings here, the bottom wings, are going to be a perfect fit for inside this curve on her spine. So the butterfly body will be at the top of her spine, and these will fit perfectly. But as you can see, these are going to all stick up in the air. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I can see that it needs to fold in this direction and that direction, so I'm going to do some extra cut lines. I'll just show you what ones I'm going to do initially, and then I'll retape it and refit. So I've got my piece here. I'm going to flip it over on the shiny side where we want to cut. I will also want to get my metallic Sharpie, because then I can see the lines really easily. So I know I'm going to have to start to put some segments on these butterfly wings, but also thinking about the spread across and how much recutting I might need to do. So clearly we can go easily from this lovely curve here and just bring that in to meet the body. And we can flip this over and do the same on this side. We can also then do, perhaps as a starter, one here and one here. So we're sort of making them very similar. They won't be identical. That's how I like it. One here. The other thing you'll want is to split this one here as well. So you may decide, okay, well, I know I only want them to start off to be about this sort of width. So let's have a look at how we can break this up into a reasonable pattern. So we can do this. We can put some more veins in here, and we can do this. Cut it and see how we go. So we can see that's going to spread out a bit, so we want a line on this one. These are going to spread across, so we may need to adjust this one. And here I will do something very similar to that. So do a line like that. a line coming down to meet this little guy here, because it helps with the shape, and then a line here. And I'll do the same on the other side, and then I'll go away and cut all those shapes and see how we go. Now, one of my superpowers is actually to change my mind. I thought this butterfly is beautiful. I want it on the front where I can see it. So I'm thinking just up here, just below her neckline, it would look really, really lovely. It has impacted a bit on how I will approach the fitting of this, but as you can see, I've done all the little cuts, and it's still quite very flexible, so I can still mould away to her body. Not much will change from the original fitting on her back. This wing has fitted really, really well, but I will need to do a slice through this bottom part of the wing. So I may take this from here, I think, and then just do a little angle down in this direction for it to fit. The body's not a problem, a little bit lumpy bumpy, but the glue will take care of that. So the same thing will need to occur here, and I think I'll probably will be wanting to do a slice through here as well for this wing to fit here. So this one will have more cuts than if it was going on the back. Likewise up here, so these bits fit all right. This one here, this lovely long piece here, is sort of fitting all right, and then we get to go around the corner. So here I will do a cut. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. So I'll do a cut that sort of runs with this line to help fold it across. So I'm going to do it, oops, can't draw sideways. So I'm just going to make it look like another curve and then spread that. And that should take care of that because it's going with the curve of her body and should fit quite well. The other thing I'll do when I go offline is, now that I'm certain about pretty much how it's all going to fit, and it won't be till you get to the gluing where you'll fine tune. So, and I'll show you those bits as well. So I'll go offline, cut these bits up, how I think they need to go, and this one here. And then each of these wings I'll tape separately because I think I want a wider grout line between the wings so that you can get that real sense of the wings really being quite luxurious. So this line here will be a wider grout line. This line here will be a wider grout line, as will this one. And then I will have on this side, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 separate pieces taped, ready to stick. So I can keep the wings with a really good shape and pop them where I want them to go. So because I've decided this is where the body needs to go, I'm going to peel this back and get a Sharpie and mark the line there where I want the pointy bit to be. And that way I'll at least get everything lined up. The other thing I will do is mark on here where the tops of these two bottom bits will be. And that will make things very, very easy. The other thing I'll do while I'm offline is clean every single piece, get it into the right position, and then tape it all up, ready for gluing. I think this is going to look magnificent on her. What do you think?